Hello everyone, this is Veerasundari, Assistant Professor from ADS Department. Today I am going to explain conditional statement in Python with examples. We have already seen about Python in the last video. Let us directly move on to conditional statement. Conditional statement in Python. Like every other programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python also has some predefined conditional statements. A condition statement is used to handle the conditions in our program. The statement will guide the program while making decisions based on the conditions encountered by the program. Conditional statements are also known as decision making statements. We need to use these conditional statements to execute the specific task. In Python, we can achieve decision making by using the following statements: if statement, if else statement, elif statement, nested if, and if else statement, elif ladder. Let us see one by one. The first one is if statement. Python if statement is one of the most commonly used conditional statements in programming languages. It decides whether certain statements need to be executed or not. It checks for a given condition. If the condition is true, then the set of code present inside the if block will be executed. Otherwise, not. The syntax for the if statement is if test expression or conditions, then the statement will be executed. Let us see the flowchart of if statement. So, this is the flowchart of the if statement. In this, if the condition is true, it will execute the statement of if block. If not, it will execute the rest of the code. Let me show you the example. I am going to type a is equal to 7, b is equal to 0. If a is greater than b, now print a is greater than b. So, this will give the output as a is greater than b, because the value of a is greater than b. Let us move on to the next one, if else statement. The statement itself says if a given condition is true, then it will execute the statement present inside the if block, and if the condition fails, then it will execute the else block. In this, else block will execute only when the condition becomes false. It is the block where you will perform some actions whether the condition is not true. The syntax of if else statement is if expression is equal to header, then block of quotes, else block of quotes. The block of quotes will be a single statement or a multiple statement. Let me show you the flow chart. So this is the flow chart of if else statement. If the condition is true, the statement of if block will be executed. If the condition is false, the statement of else block will be executed. Let us move on to example. I am going to print the number is positive or not using if else statement. The state num is equal to 3. If num is greater than or equal to 0, the number will be printed as positive. Otherwise, the else block will be executed. So, it will give us the output as positive as 0, because the value of number is positive. I am going to give the num is equal to minus 5. I mean the negative value, it will give us the output as negative number. Moving on to the next one, elif statement. In Python, we have one more conditional statement called elif statements. Elif statement is used to check multiple conditions only if the given condition is false. It is similar to an if else statement, and the only difference is that in else we will not check the condition, but in elif we will check the condition. Elif statements are similar to if else statements, but elif evaluate multiple conditions. Syntax of elif statement: if conditions, open brace condition, then close brace header, set of statement to execute if the condition is true, elif, then open brace, then put conditions, set of statements to be executed. When if condition is false and elif is true, else set of statement to be executed when both if and elif are false. Moving on to the flowchart of if-else statement. First, the condition of if fails, it will move on to elif. If the elif also fails, it will move to else and print the statement. Otherwise, print the true statements. Let us move on to example. Let us take num is equal to 10. If num is equal to 0, the number is, print the number is 0. Elif, if num is greater than 5, print number is greater than 5, else number is smaller than 5. It will give the output as number is greater than 5 because the first if statement condition is failed and then elif condition is passed. So that it printed the value of elif condition. Let us move to the next one, nested if statement. We have an if elif else statement inside the another if elif else statement. So this is called nesting in computer programming. Python provides this feature as well. This in turn will help us to check multiple conditions in a given program. An if statement is present inside another if statement which is present inside another if statement and so on. So it is called nested if statement. The syntax of the nested if statement is as follows. If conditions, then the statement to execute if is true, inside the another if condition, statement to execute if condition is true. End of nested if. End of if. So by following this syntax, I am going to do an example. This code will give us the output as 10 is smaller than 20 and 10 is smaller than 21. It follows the syntax and this is how nested if works. Moving on to the next one, nested if else statement. Nested if else statement or just if else statements inside another if else statements. It provides better decision making. It will check each condition sequentially and once the condition succeeds, it goes to the corresponding block. If none of them are true, then the else code will take place. The syntax of nested if else statement is if condition, then the statement to execute if it is true, then another if condition, the statement to execute if it is true, then else statement to execute if it is false, and last is else the statement to execute if the condition fails. Let us see an example. I am going to print the value as negative or positive using this. Let us take num is equal to minus 7. If num is not equal to 0, that is if num is greater than 0, print number is positive, else print the number is negative. If both fails, else print the number is 0. It will give the output as negative because the value of num is minus 7. It is negative. Moving on to the next one, elif ladder. We have seen about the elif statement, but what is this elif ladder? As the name suggests, a program that contains a ladder of elif statement, we call it as elif ladder. The syntax of elif ladder is if condition, set of statement to execute if is true, and then elif condition, set of statement to be executed when if condition if false and elif condition is true. Likewise, it will build a ladder shape of elif. After that, else set of statement to be executed when all if and elif conditions are false. By using this syntax, let we see an example. I am going to get the grade of a student studying using this. I'm going to get the grade of a student using this. This is the code. If I'm giving the value as 55, it will show the output as grade D. I'm going to do some example program using the conditional statement. Let me take the if statement. A is equal to int open brace input of enter the value of A, then close the brackets. Next B is equal to int open brace input of enter the values of B, then close the bracket. C is equal to int input of enter the value of C, then close the brackets. If A is greater than B and A is greater than C, print A is greater, and if B is greater than A and B is greater than C, print B is greater, and if C is greater than A and C is greater than B, print C is largest. It will show us the output with respect to the input we are giving. It will show us the output with respect to the input we are giving. I am going to give A is equal to 25, B is equal to 35, C is equal to 12. It gives the output as B is largest. Moving on to the next one, if else statement. I am going to check the eligibility to vote. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, you are eligible to vote. If the age is less than or equal to 18, you are not eligible to vote. Let us take age is equal to int input of enter your age. If age is greater than or equal to 8, print you are eligible to vote. Else print sorry, you have to wait. So I am going to give the age as 17. It shows you have to wait again. I am going to give the age as 52. It shows you are eligible. This is how if else works. Moving on to the next one, elif statement. If 51 is less than 5, then print false. Statement skipped. Elif 0 is less than 5, print the block executed. Again elif 0 is less than 3, print true, block will not execute. At last, else print it all fails. So it will give the output as true, block executed, because the first elif passed, so that it gives the output like that. Moving on to the next one, nested if. I am going to print a set of value which is odd or even and divide by 3. So list of numbers. In list, just write the numbers 4, 5, 9, 17, 21. For I in list of numbers, if I moving on to the next one, nested if. I am going to print a set of value which is odd or even and divided by. Okay. So this is how conditional statement in Python works. Hope you all like this video. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.